Hello everyone, welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick. This is a bit of a substitute show for the Sunday nighter, which will hopefully be on a Monday night this week. Mickey's not feeling well. John's otherwise engaged at the minute, and I can't really do a live show this evening. I've got family coming round. So I'm going to get this recorded now, and we're going to, look, we've got 2 weeks to pick through the bones of it all. What's happened a little bit later. Before we get into this show, as always, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe and don't forget, drop a like on the video. And if you like your tea and your coffee, why don't you head over to the Kent and Sussex Tea and Coffee Company. You'll find the link to their website in the description of this video. If you use our discount code, Claret15, you'll get a nice juicy discount. Okay, so dust has settled. Well, it has settled. I did the match review yesterday, a little bit under a personal protest because I didn't want to do it, but I thought I've got to, you know. I'll do them after every game. So yeah, because what I didn't want to do, I didn't want to be negative or anything like that. I can't be positive about that. I can't. I don't really disagree with anything that I said. I don't. I didn't criticise Nuno. I criticised the performance. I said Nuno's a good manager. I can't lie to you and say that he plays a brand of football that I enjoy, because he doesn't. I said that I would be a hypocrite to be over the moon with what we're going to be seeing now throughout Nuno's tenure, after not being happy with it under David Moyes, because it is low block defensive football, and that's exactly what we saw yesterday is going to be what we see. So I knew that was going to ruffle feathers, because I just know that's the way the West Ham fan base is. I've had it all over the. I've had it under Lopetegui. I've had it under Potter. You know, even in the summer when I was sticking to me guns, you got West Ham fans going, "Oh, you're negative. You're negative. Why don't you just back him? You know, why don't you just back him?" And yesterday I wasn't even negative. I wasn't even ranting. I was just telling you what I thought. But I'm getting the same shit from the same righteous people that can't tolerate any opinion other than their own. And I'm a little bit pissed off with it, to be quite honest. I knew that this man was going to be divisive. I said that, didn't I? When you appoint a low block manager, you're going to get a divided fan base. You're seeing that divide creep in already. So well done, David Sullivan. You've got your, it's having the desired effect. It really is. But no, like I said, I didn't criticise him, but I am getting the same shit. You know, people just can't tolerate it. They can't. And you're getting people, they're churning out, the same people are churning out the same lines that they churned out when Potter first come in. When we'd lost and you was unhappy with a defeat, well, if it was Loppy, it would have been 5. Well, now it's, well, if it was Potter, it would have been 5. The first job a manager does when they come into a team like West Ham and we're conceding goals is they do what we're seeing at the moment. Sticking 8 bodies behind the ball, it's going to tighten you up a bit. But then what happens is they realise it clicks. Yeah, fair enough. I'm keeping the scoreline down here, but fuck me, I need to score. Otherwise, we're not going to win. And that's where you seem to get the... I must get my beard cut. That's where you seem to get the balance all mixed up, you know, because we haven't got any balance in the team. And I said it isn't Nuno's fault. You know, I did say when we was getting him that I don't think that this squad is fit for Nuno. Nuno is a top manager at what Nuno does, but he needs a very particular set of players. We've got a shit defence. We ain't got the best midfield, and we've got no outlet. He needs a target man. So in my mind, he was almost the worst fit in terms of profile of manager for what we're doing now because of the players that we've got. We went from David Moyes playing low block football, who built a squad in his own image. We've spent the last 18 months decimating that because that weren't working. It weren't. We've been shit for 3 years. This is the 4th consecutive season that we're going to have been basically just fighting for our life in the Premier League. You know, that's 2 years under Moyes, 1 year under Loppy and Potter, and then this season. That's 4. This is going to be our 4th year. But we had a squad that was more suitable to it. You know, when Moyes was here, because he kind of built a squad to suit him. We've dismantled that. We've sold everyone off. We've tried to go to some sort of possession-based game, defensive but possession-based, and we've got rid of all of those sort of attritional players, all the fight and all the spirit. We kind of got rid of that, And because it ain't worked, now we've dismantled the squad. We've gone back to what weren't working when we had a squad more suitable for it. So I don't know exactly what people are expecting of Nuno. I'm not expecting a lot. And again, it's not on Nuno. I've already said I like the man. I do. But I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your arse. And I do think that there's going to be an awful lot of West Ham fans out there that are going to lose their fucking minds because they always think that the next manager or the next player that comes in, it was Fernandes for Potter. We've got Fernandes now. That's the silver bullet. Well, even Potter told you himself that weren't going to be the silver bullet for this lot. And it's going to be the same for the manager. There is no silver bullet. The group of players is what it is. What we've got now is a good manager. But every Premier League team has a good manager. We was at a disadvantage before because we had a shit manager. So that's good. We're on an even keel, a level playing field as far as the management area is concerned. But you still need the team. The team's kind of the most important bit outside of the manager. And we're lacking, especially for someone like Nuno. So unless he can kind of get the best out of some academy players, maybe that's why he's trying to bring some of them through, which I like, by the way. And that's one thing I can give him a massive tick from Nick for. Giving Potts two stints off the bench, I think we'll start to see him brought into the team. Giving Marshall minutes as well. That was good to see. So, yes, absolutely. And I feel sorry for the guy. Like I said, it's not personal. And it's not personal that I don't like his style of football. I just don't. Because that is a brand of football I don't enjoy. I can't like something that I don't like. But I accept that we've got it, and I want it to work because I want us to stay in the Premier League. So, yeah, I don't know what people want. I do not know what people want after watching something like that. If we had anything to take from it, anything at all, apart from a couple of good, solid defensive performances from Mavropanos and to a lesser extent, Kilman, that's about it. There was nothing else. Everyone else was anonymous. That was all shit. So we had no shots on target, none. And people say it's Arsenal. It's Arsenal. Best team in the fucking universe. What do you expect? Look, listen, when you play a better team, the probability is that you're going to get beat. But if you don't buy a ticket, you ain't going to win the raffle. You've got to give it a go against whoever you're playing. You have to. People say, look how much Arsenal has spent and look what their squad's worth compared to West Ham's. Look at what Crystal Palace's squad's worth compared to Liverpool when they battered them at home a few weeks ago. Football isn't binary. It's not the way it works. We've done Arsenal for the last 2 years. They're no better than what they were last year or the year before. If they are, it's marginal. Not a lot of difference. We've done them at their own place. 2 years on a spin. You don't have to play the badge. You don't have to curl up in a ball. And what annoyed me with that was it was a flashback to the days where we just accepted a defeat and went for, at the very best, a point. Before a ball was even kicked, that's all we was doing. It was damage limitation. I don't like that. I can't stand it. But that said, Nuno has only been here a short while and you do have to give him time. Absolutely. And I will. You will not hear me calling for Nuno's head. Even if he loses the next 5 or 10 games, you'll call for it before me. Yeah. The ones that are supporting him now, a lot of them. You will, because I now realise it doesn't matter who the manager is. It really does not. When you look at the table now, we're incredibly lucky that we're not sitting rock bottom at the minute. Wolves were winning 1-0 at home to Brighton, and Brighton equalised on the 85th minute. Otherwise, we'd have been sitting rock bottom of this league after 7 games, which is a fifth of the season. That's a fifth of the season gone. We're rock bottom. If we don't get enough points out of the next 4, which people are calling winnable games, and they are compared to the likes of Arsenal, and Liverpool. But those teams will be looking at us like it's a winnable game. All of those teams that we're playing, Brentford, Leeds, Burnley, they'll be looking at us thinking, well, if we don't beat them, we're fucked. All of them will be looking at us as though that's a 3 points. So we should get something out of them, but there are no givens. You can't really afford to just give up points in this league now. This is what I'm saying earlier on about just accepting defeat against a team like Arsenal, who, like I said, the probability is because they're a better team, on their day, they're going to beat you no matter what you try and do. But if you don't buy a ticket, you ain't going to win the raffle. You've got to go and have a go at them. You have to. We was lucky, really. to a certain extent yesterday. A lot of people were not having that because of the penalty they keep on banging on about. But we could have given away 2 or 3 more. Handball shouts. Good saves. We was blocking to save our own lives. They had 20 shots on goal. So we got up to a certain point in the game where I was starting to think, shit, we could actually shit house this. But then I realised, hang on a minute, we've got no outlet. We're defending deep with no outlet. Is that Nuno's fault? No. Again, it comes down to, once more, going out and purchasing a manager who was on a free. It's the only reason we got him in. Who isn't suitable for the group of players that we've got. We do it every time. So when we go out in January, we're no doubt going to repeat exactly what we've repeated before, which has failed, which is why we've ended up with this mishmash of a squad, while we've got Moyes' players, Potter's players, Lopetegui's players. Now we're going to have a few Nuno players as well. This is a bloke who's on his 4th job in 6 years. But no doubt, if we're anywhere near that bottom 3, which I suspect that we will be come January, I really do think we're going to be in that bottom 3. Hope I'm wrong, but I think that's where we're going to be. Sullivan will go out and spend like a drunken sailor, frantically throwing money at Nuno's apparent picks. That's what he's going to do. And I'm sick and tired of it. I just am. This is why I want a director of football. This is why we need a director of football. It's why it needs to change. And that's why nothing's going to change. Nothing at all. Look at the last few managers. You know, look at Phillips for Moyes and all the other shit players that we got in that we spent a lot of money on and lost money on. Look at Kilman for Lopetegui. Look at Hermansen for Potter. You just don't do that. You know, these managers are in a job to survive. They're living hand to mouth. All they care about is the next game. You need somebody else in that's looking more at what the squad needs and a long-term vision for the club. That's how you get the best player. But we don't do that. We're not going to. It's going to be balls out. I mean, all you're seeing that, it's all bollocks anyway. We're linked with Chris Wood. We're linked with Adama Traore. We're going to be linked with all the Nuno players. That's what's going to happen. He ain't got his eye on anyone yet. We're nowhere near January. He can't do anything yet. So a lot of these stories that are coming out are crap, and it's just kind of being fed from the club, trying to build hype for everyone. Just, at the end of the day, whatever helps you get through the day. I know people want to consume it and want to believe that some of these transfer rumours in fucking early October, but I just don't see the sense in this. You've got to let him bed in. What he's got to do is he's got to polish a turd. And I feel for him. I feel for him because it ain't an easy job for him. It really isn't. It's going to be incredibly difficult. You've got players that, what I did see, look, listen, the other thing I'm seeing as well is player criticisms. Now, look, I said on my review the other day, I said Paqueta had a shit game, as well as Magassa. Shit. As well as Fernandes. Absolute shit. He's given us 45 minutes in the first half against Forest. He's gone missing since. He's been crap. So, I don't see. What did Bowen do yesterday? What did Somerville do? Yet all I'm seeing the comments going, Paqueta's shit, he's got to go, get rid of him. That's going to make us better, innit? The same people that were saying Kudus is shit, got to get rid of him, he's a reason we're rubbish. Well, we got rid of him. He got man of the match for Tottenham on Saturday. It hasn't made us better, is it? Generally, getting rid of your better players, it's only going to make you worse. All right? We all know that Paqueta isn't perfect, and he definitely isn't going to be perfect playing this style of football because Paqueta and maybe even Fernandes, it might be a reason why Fernandes is struggling, their instinct is to go forward. Well, whenever Paqueta was receiving the ball yesterday, he was looking forward, there was no one there. So he's stuttering and he's getting caught on the ball and he's gonna I think he was just trying to buy fouls after time, just to kind of disrupt their flow. That's what he was trying to do, I think. And also, one thing that I saw Paqueta do yesterday, which I have never seen Paqueta do before, he was definitely hiding. It's almost like he didn't want the ball. I've never seen that from Paqueta before. That's not a good sign because Paqueta's put it in, whether he's played well or not. He's always tried, whether it was Moyes, whether it was Loppe, whether it was Potter. I've never seen him do that. And it was almost like he didn't want the ball because maybe for that reason, what the fuck do you want me to do? You're going to give me the ball. It's like rebound football. He's going to have to give it back. He doesn't do that. He doesn't really pass backwards. So this comes down to what Nuno needs in his team. And I don't know. I don't know whether these types of players, because it is shithouse football. I don't care what anyone says. And I do think that there is no point. Our club have long been giving us good players, creative players, flair players. They're just prick teasing us because they never give us a manager that can do anything with them. The amount of good players that we've had. How many times have I said to you, Michelin-starred ingredients, McDonald's chefs. So and I'm not calling Nuno a McDonald's chef, by the way, all right? But I'm just giving you an example of having these players but not having the managers to match. We've never got the best out of them. It's like virtue signalling signings, gaslighting signings. Do you know what? To play this style of football, you don't need Lucas Paqueta. You really don't. It's shithouse football. You almost need 11 Thomas Souček's. I think Souček's going to come back in and once more be our most important player. And I'm not taking the piss because I want us to stay in the league. But I just think it's going to be attritional football. And this isn't a one-off, by the way. I'll take what we can get now. This is our 4th consecutive year. We've been shit and fighting for our life in the Premier League. It was the same in the season where we won the Conference Cup. I thought we was gone that year. After 35 games, I thought we was gone. When we lost to Newcastle, I thought that was it. And it's just gone downhill since there. We've been terrible, We had that little stint in the first part of Moyes' last season where we was winning against XG when he'd gone back to counter-attacking football. But like with Nuno last year, it falls off. It goes, you get found out. We've just been struggling for so long now. It's ridiculous. This is why it's so exhausting. This is why I'm so bored with it. I do feel a lot better now, as you can tell. Hopefully you can see with me, delivery's a bit more punchy than I was yesterday because I was drained. That football drains me. I felt like a fucking zombie. It just sucks the life out of me. I know there's a lot of people that just love it. I know there are, and that's good. Good for you. You're going to have fun. It's not for me, though. But that doesn't mean I'm going to get on Nuno's back. I don't know how many times I've got to say it. I will support Nuno and I will moan about the boring football because it bores me. All right? I can't be you. I can't. I can only give you my opinion on stuff. He wasn't who I would have chosen, but he is undoubtedly, when you consider the people that are selecting managers, we're probably quite lucky that he became available when he did because I don't know who else, we could have got in that would have been any better than Nuno. And I accept that. So, yeah, I think we haven't got a managerial problem now. The problems that we get on the pitch now are not really going to be anything to do with Nuno. He's just kind of, it's symptomatic, really, of the bad running of this club. So everything that we're seeing that we saw, in the Arsenal game, what we're moaning about, there's no outlet. Well, that's the board. Why haven't we got a striker? Full crew shit. Wilson's broken. What? That's not Nuno's fault. But you're still going to complain because no West Ham fan complaining about where we are as a club isn't attacking Nuno. You can't be happy with where we are. You can't be happy that we've gone and got a guy in who's got a completely depleted squad of players and hopefully he's going to manage to get us to 17th. Fuck me, that's nothing to celebrate. We'd won a European Cup a couple of years ago. We should be fuming, not with Nuno, but with the club. So all of this stupid idea, you can't criticise nothing no more because we've got a new manager and you've got to be positive. We're not being negative against Nuno. But you're allowed to be frustrated with the shit situation that we've been forced into because of these idiots that run this club. I don't see why it's so complicated. Nuno ain't going to give a shit. Ain't going to bother him. He knows that we're not protesting outside the ground because of him. He's only just come in. He knows that we know he's got a shit show to manage. So, yeah, I just want people to stay focused on BS out first and foremost because we won't get any success at this club. We'll be lucky to still be in the league this year. Nuno's going to have to perform some feat to keep us in the league this year. I mean that as well. I look at all the upcoming fixtures apart from the next 4, which still scare me. And actually there's pressure on them. We've got to get points out of them because beyond that, wow, yeah. So we're under serious pressure to get something from Brentford, to get something from Leeds away. It's really, really going to be tough for us. Tough for Nuno. Because if we do people are saying limp through till January and we're going to be all right. Really? Are we? just going to go out and get another top striker, are we? How are we going to do that? How are you going to go and get a top striker in January when you're in the relegation zone and part of the deal that we know that, well, everyone offers, but we in particular offer a player is, yeah, we'll give you 100 grand a week, but it's 40% off when we go down. They've all got that built into their contracts. Well, they ain't going to fucking touch us with a barge pole. Plus, we're not going to spend the money that's required. The only way we could go out and get a player that's good enough to make a difference to us is on loan. Somebody that is a top player that ain't getting a lot of game time might come to us on loan. Could do, because, you know, you've got the World Cup in the summer. They might want to get some minutes under their belt. That could happen. We ain't signing a player, though, because no one's going to come to us if we're in that position in January. It's as simple as that. So these problems are just going to keep coming. They are. But yeah, you know, going back to criticising players and stuff like that, I just feel like you've got to let all the players get used to Nuno's style now. They've gone from low block to whatever the fuck it was that Lopetegui played, to defensive bore possession snooze ball under Potter. And now we're going back to low block again. The players don't know whether they're coming or going. There's some players that are on their fourth manager in 18 months. So I think we've got to be patient with them. I think we've got to be patient with Nuno, but that doesn't mean that we can't get frustrated. It doesn't mean that you can't moan. It doesn't mean that you can't have a fucking opinion. And if you do have an opinion, you're negative and, you know, you're not helping us out. And no. I understand that people do just want to hold on to everything. I get that. Mentally, they need it, and they just want to think, yeah, Nuno's going to get us into the top six, and you just need to keep believing that. That's fine. And anyone that tells you any different, you can't handle it. I get it. It's fine. Good for you. I'm not like that. I'm more of a realist. I've been stung way too much. I don't know how anyone can think like that when you look at the last 18 months under this lot. I'm cynical by nature, but I'm more cynical now. So, yeah, I'm at a stage now where we've got a manager that I didn't want, obviously. Not because I didn't rate him, because he plays a style of football that I don't want, and because I feel like he's a bad fit with the players that we've got. Okay? But I understand that he's not a problem. He's not the problem now, you know. Manager's fixed. I think he'll get the most out of this team that anyone could while we're trying to get this ball out. That's it. And get the ball out we must. We've got the Brentford boycott when we come back. It's not for me to sort of tell you to boycott because, as you know, I am now no longer a match-going fan. But there are other channels out there. I know, for instance, the Bobby Moore stand, you know, they're supporting the boycott. They're season ticket holders. So it carries more weight than if I tell you to boycott, because people say, well, it's rich for you. You don't go anymore. I know. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just hoping that you do the right thing and you support this movement, because we need to get these. For the greater good of the club, for the greater good of yourself, for the greater good of everything, we've got to get these people out. So I'm hoping that we make a serious statement. They're not going to miss us in there. There's no atmosphere anyway. It ain't like fucking Elland Road in there, is it? It's dead. You're miles away from the pitch. Don't act like, you know, you not being there is going to affect the team. It just ain't. It's not. All right? Watch it on telly. Watch it down the pub. Go and watch it with a load of West Ham fans. You might even enjoy it a little bit more. I do. I actually do enjoy watching West Ham in a pub more than what I do in that stadium. Prefer an away day. Yeah, can't replace that. But in terms of the home experience, not for me. At the moment. And then beyond that, as we know, we've got Newcastle at home, which is another game that's live on Sky, and there's going to be a sit-in, all centred around the Bobby Moore stand. People are going to be staying in there 15 minutes, half an hour after the game. That's hopefully going to get picked up by the cameras. But then the big one, the juicy one, the glamorous one, is going to be when we play Burnley at home. That's going to be the March. And more details of that will follow. But please, if you have not signed that petition, make sure that you do, because even if you can't be at the march, you can still be there in spirit, because you can put your name on that petition. The petition we are marching to the gates and we're handing over to them. So put your name on it. You know, this is your opportunity to have your say. Think of what they've done. Think of what they've taken away from you. So do it. Make sure you do. bsout.co.uk. Make sure you check your emails afterwards, because if you don't confirm it, then your vote doesn't count. So yes, look, that's it from me. 25 minutes of whiffle waffle, having a moan about everything as normal. But I feel a bit better today. I'm happy that we've got 2 weeks without West Ham. I'm buzzing that we've got 2 weeks without West Ham. I actually am. But we will be back tomorrow. I'll see if I can get a few people on to come and talk with me on the Sunday night show. We'll do on the Monday night show. We'll do a phone in and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to let you go now, and I'll speak to you soon. All right, come on, you ones.